joint of the week. We're going to do the DOVETAILS ugly cousin, the box joint. Now, I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments arguing about whether this is stronger than DOVETAILS, but trust me, DOVETAILS are stronger. I'd be willing to eat my shirt if somebody can prove me wrong. However, I love box joints. They're great, they're quick, they're easy to do. The only thing I don't like about them is that when you get to the end, you're always going to have an oddly spaced key. Now, I've come up with an easy way to overcome this called center keyed box joints. And that is where you have a very large key in the center and then everything top and bottom of that is equally spaced. Now, this is super simple to do, and I think it makes box joints look way cooler. So let's over to the table saw, and I'm going to show you how I get it done. So we've identified a center line in each one of our pieces and labeled them A and B. Now, this is important because here you're going to have a big center key that fits into a center opening. And this is a very easy way to do this where you can remember to stop. Is you identify your center line and you cut the same amount of keys on your first board, but don't go over your center line. You then flip it over and cut the same amount the other way, but don't go over your center line. And then when you are cutting your box joints, and I'll show you here in a second, you take your first piece you cut, you put it over your key, line your next board up with it, cut your first one, and then you're going to cut the same number of times that you did here before you got to your center line. For us, it's going to be 3. So this will get removed, this will get removed, and the third one will get removed before the center line. You'll see how I do it here right now. Here's my third one. Now we're going to turn it. Okay, so as you can see, here's what you're left with. You're left with this large key and then this one that's kind of an odd size. And we're going to remove that just like the waste in between a dovetail. There's other ways to do it. You could use the dado stack on your table saw. I prefer to do it with chisels because it seems like faster than trying to unset up my box joint jig, especially if I'm cutting multiple sides. But and then this big key is going to fit in there. So just the important thing to do is cut as many keys until before your center line on your first piece. And then that number of cuts is how many you do on each side of your center line of your next piece. So for me, it was 1, 2, 3 cuts on this side, 1, 2, 3. Same thing here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And they're going to line up perfect. Let me show you here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take a coping saw. I'm going to remove that. That's a little rough, but you can take a chisel and just clean that up just a little bit. So we take that, and then we're going to take this, and look at that. Isn't that cool? Such a cool thing. Now, the reason I used the backer board in the first shot when I was doing this, because I wanted to show you how important it is to have backer board. So what that did was half of this board had backer board and half didn't because I flipped it around. So you can see each one of these is super clean. So when you're cutting box joints, I recommend that you have a completely different scrap piece that is the exact same width, and you move it along with your other piece every single time. And that's what's gonna give you those really, really clean ones. And this is what it looks like when there's no backer board, and that tear out is just terrible. And so let me throw some glue on this here, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Man, these came out good. I actually was only planning on doing a 90 degree like I usually do for joint of the week, but it looked so good I just finished this box. And I'm going to probably rabbit the inside, put in a lid and a bottom, or maybe make it into something that sits on my desk. But these came out really cool, and I take back what I said about box joints being Dovetail's ugly cousin, because this is neat looking. And what's cool is it doesn't have to be in the middle. You could set that line wherever you want, and you could maybe plan ahead for that's where you were going to cut your lid or something like that. But center keyed box joints, really easy to do. This took me, once the box joint jig was set up, this took me 5 minutes to cut these, and they just fit together. There's no refining them. So easy utilitarian way to get a really cool look. Box joints to me sort of by themselves look like drawers, and when you do something like this, it becomes decorative and it becomes part of the artistic part of the piece. So really cool joint. Let me know what joint you'd like to see on joint of the week, and we'll get it done. Most of my joints come from viewer suggestions, so let me know what you want to see, guys. Thanks for watching, and stay safe in the shop.